the Seduction Sirasima. Shall I try it on you? This time his words had a sufficient effect on the opponent, and the black smoke seemed to go to a corner of the room. When he came fresh, he found her sitting on the bed again in a see-through dress. Without showing any reaction, he turned off the light in the room and lay down on his bed. The girl tried to get closer to him to dominate him, but the next moment she received a strong shock and the image was dissolved in the air. "You have come after doing ablution?" It was scared in a whisper, but he didn't answer. He closed his eyes and started reciting the bedtime prayers at night. "And I created the jinn and the human beings only so that they might worship me." Al-Dariyat 51:56. After a couple of moments he recited this verse. A strange noise came from the southern corner of the room, as if the genie was forbidding him from all this. "And that some of us are obedient, and some of us are disobedient." Jinn 14. When he recited another verse, now the shutter of the window opening towards the street started to shake violently. "It means that you want to be among disobedient." He started reciting Ayatul Kursi in a low voice, questioning the response to his invitation. With every word that came out of his mouth, the creature's growls started to increase, and the two window panes started to rattle together as if they were about to break and fall. But he continued recitations without stopping. When he started reciting Muawwizdin, that black smoke first turned into a hideous creature, and then suddenly it seemed as if someone had jumped out of the window into the street. In the street, some horrifying and terrible sounds continued to be heard, but he had fallen into the valley of peaceful sleep after reciting these prayers. As the night grew deeper, a cloud of black smoke started swirling outside that house. The creature gathered in front of the window on one side, and then took the form of a strange figure leaning against the wall and lying on the ground. A few moments later, he felt a fluctuation on the other side of the wall. Suddenly, it felt as if someone was splashing cold water on his fiery being. He got up and started beating on the window, but the flashlight coming from inside lifted him and hit him in the middle of the street. He wanted to move forward again, but this time, the coldness of these light rays was more than before. He stopped his steps behind and began to whirl in the street like a flying tornado. Sometimes he made the sound of a wolf, and in the very next moment he hissed like a snake. A few moments later, the terror of his voice overpowered even the rumble of the clouds. Sometimes it would crackle like lightning. A few seconds later, Liba was thrown like a stone right next to his steps. She was moaning in a strange and terrifying voice. The residents of the area buried in warm beds woke up at the sound, and most of them went back to their sleep while mentioning the greatness of their lord. Out of the 6 to 7 houses on this street, only 2 or 3 houses were inhabited, and all those residents were now used to these sounds to which they often listened. "Liba! Liba!" She was in her strange form, flopping on the ground below. The body of both of them was made of flames, and the heat of Liba's body was leaning down. It seemed as if her breathing stopped. "How many times have you said to stop chasing him? He can never be yours. We the genies have no match with humans." Raising one hand in the air, bringing it back down, he dripped the blood of the bird caught in his hand into her mouth. When Liba's health recovered, he became anxious and depressed. Roy, love is well aware of the ability to make humans helpless as well as the jinn. As you are being distressed in my love, likewise, I sift the dust of these hot sands in the love of a human being. Roy looked at her with pained eyes. "Liba, even if we are not of the same creative origin, we may be of the same religion. The creation may not be one, but the religion should be the same. You are in love with a man who wants to turn you into dust, while he is thin as dust, and you are a fiery creature, Roy said, in an irritating note this time, while Liebe nodded her head in denial. He does not want to make me the dust of his feet, but wants to bless me with light, but unfortunately, I am not allowed to obey anyone except Iblis. His love gradually is uprising so strong in my heart that I am afraid that I may not be among the disobedients. Roy horribly looked at her. He started to make horrible noises once again, as if expressing his anger. Are you angry? Seeing him moving towards the cemetery like a ball of fire, she followed him. Do fall in love, Liebe, but do not disobey Lucifer. Your suffering will not be seen by me, though you are separated from our tribe here, but we are still not allowed to act arbitrarily. Roy warned and advised her at once, but Liebe avoided saying anything this time.